This is an interview on Sunday, April 25th, 2021, with Villins by Nick Burkell. Now, Jessicka, were you involved in choir when you were younger, and can you tell me any sort of music schools you were a part of growing up?
Sure. Yeah. So when I was younger, I kind of avoided school choirs because when I was really young, my voice was really powerful. And so I always liked being really flashy and being like a soloist. So when I was much younger, I didn't really do a lot of school choirs. But then as I got older, one of the music I did a bunch of musical theater conservatories. So one of the musical theater conservatories that I did was the Paper Mill Playhouse Summer Conservatory as a kid, and a lot of the singing that I had done in large groups was in theater. So that's where I had a lot of my experience singing in groups coming from, but not necessarily choirs.
Now, Kareem, can you tell me about getting your first guitar?
It took me a couple of starts at playing guitar. The very first guitar I used to play was my mom had a nylon string with all the note names stickered on the side of the neck. So I used to take that out of her closet and mess around with that. Then my first actual guitar, I remember it was like a black quart electric guitar. But at the time, I was still pretty, I'm not exactly sure how old I was, but I was pretty young. So I played that for some months, but then I really wanted a BMX bike. So my parents were kind of like, well, it's either or. And I was like, I really want this bike. And so I got this really sweet bike, and I was racing BMX for a while. But I was pretty good my first time playing guitar. My friends were like, man, you should get the guitar. You should get the guitar. And so then my first guitar that I really stuck with was a Kramer Striker. Blue, sort of like a blue bowling ball. I can't believe I had that guitar. It's really not very good to play. Oh, and then also, and a babysitter had given me an old K, like a Sears guitar. And the strings were 2 inches off the neck, and they had no idea what to do with that one, which now, of course, I would think is really cool. But so Kramer Striker is the first guitar I really dug into.
Now, were you involved in any music schools or have any private tutors to learn guitar?
I don't know what grade it was, but when I was a kid, I went to a National Guitar Summer Workshop for a few weeks. And that was sort of, I had already been playing, and I had a teacher at home, and my mom was a singer, so I kind of was around music already. But when I went to National Guitar Summer Workshop, that was the first time I really studied theory and got sort of heavy into it. And all the guitar players there were awesome. Guys like Vinnie Moore, so that would come and play. And there I met Harry Jacobson, who was my private teacher in New York for some time after. And he was just a phenomenal teacher. Really, most of what I know came from Harry Jacobson.
Now, for both of you, thinking about the Power EP, what albums in your personal collections did you find you listened to the most when you were composing these songs?
We were listening to Random Access Memories, the Daft Punk album, a lot. I was also listening to 1999, Prince, a lot at that time too. What about you?
We were listening to Justice, Genesis. We were listening to a lot of really rhythmic stuff. We weren't listening to stuff that really
Michael Jackson. Yeah.
We were taking
specifically for Like Ever. I was listening to a lot of Michael Jackson at the time.
Yeah. We were really into rhythmic. Yeah. Daft Punk, Justice. And then a lot of random stuff. And then we would go on little jags where we'd listen to Ozzy and Dio and that stuff. We've always kind of done some of that.
Yeah.
Blizzard of Oz, Diary of Madman.
Yeah.
We go back and forth and we listen to rock stuff, but then when we were hanging out, we were listening to more rhythmic stuff, I think.
Now, Jessicka, you ever seen Cyndi Lauper live? And what is your favorite album from her?
I have kind of a funny story about Cyndi Lauper. So when I was 18 or 19, I snuck into Howard Stern's 60th birthday bash at Manhattan Center, and I met Cyndi Lauper. And it was definitely a weird minute for me to like meet her because first of all I wasn't supposed to be there, and like I was like nervous that I was gonna get kicked out or whatever. But I'll never forget that. And I feel like she might have gotten on stage that night once, like as a guest thing with a bunch of people, but I have a bad memory, so I can't really remember. But I've never like actually seen her live in concert. Yeah, but that was a really cool moment. And I would say my favorite album, I've been listening to She's So Unusual a whole lot. I just feel like it's such a great album. I love her. I just love her vocal tone and on that record. I mean, so yeah, that's one I've been really loving.
Do you have a home studio, and can you tell me a bit about it?
We do. We do. We work out of Ableton Live mainly, which is I just started using Ableton a while ago. So mainly we use Ableton, and there's, how do we describe this? There's a lot of guitars and some synths. We do a lot of drum programming here. There's not too much to say about it other than Ableton's at the center, and we've got a lot of toys that we use. And
Like we cut vocals here
yeah,
and guitars, and we mic your guitar amp here.
yeah, you mic my guitar.
Oh yeah, hi, mic your guitar amp here. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're stoked with it though. We've been really stoked with some of the sounds we've gotten out of here.
Where did you record the Power EP? And for each of you, what song was the most rewarding for you once you finished the final product?
So we recorded all of our instruments and sound design here at Villins HQ. And then we had Gunnar Olsen perform and record drums remotely in his studio space. And then we had it mixed by an amazing mixer, Josh Below, and then mastered by an amazing mastering engineer, Chris Geringer. So we definitely figured out our own process for this record, which we're really stoked about. And I would say the most rewarding song on this record, oh God, I mean, there's like, they all feel so rewarding just because like the songs have come such a long way. I mean, I would say really, what do I feel? What do you feel? What's your
I might say just the Power itself, only because there was a time when, for anybody that's heard the record, the Power, the track, the Power, is sort of a departure from like a verse chorus song. It's sort of like its own standalone thing, and it's a part of our live show. And early when we were deciding what we wanted to do, we weren't sure whether we were just going to put straight up songs or if we were going to do some of the crazier stuff from our show. So when we decided to do that, it was kind of like a big choice, and the way that turned out is really pretty stoked that we did that.
Yes, yeah. I would say also Let's Break Some Shit, because that song is really weird and cool, and like what we were going for, I feel like we really got it. So
and it really like came into its own recording the way we did. Like we'd never quite had that song fully until now.
Right. I mean, like I've never had a vocal tone like that on a record before. Like something like Light Giver was more straight up because it was more like a rock vocal. Yeah. And like a song like that was just totally different and weird.
Let's Shit and the Power both.
Yeah, those. Yeah. Weird. Yes.
Now, I remember in our last interview, you spoke about writing a lot of music on long drives. You still doing that, or are you composing differently now?
Are we writing? There's still a lot of long drives and stuff. But
we're doing a lot of listening now.
We're doing a lot of listening, and we already have just a really pretty crazy amount of songs written that we want to take care of recording and releasing. So we kind of tend to try not to focus too much on writing when we still have material to record and release. So we do a lot of listening. Yeah, we've been doing a ton of listening on our surf trips and like just filling ourselves with new inspirations and enjoying music. You know, we spend a lot of time when we're working on records or playing a lot of shows or this and that. So I guess also this past year we've been we've been digging a little bit. We've been like
Mhm.
more getting into some roots and like
Yep.
working on our playing and hanging out and reading music together and just
Being musicians.
yeah, just geeking out, like enjoying, not running around quite as much, and yeah, we're just enjoying music in our place.
Mhm.
You ever bring anything like a Tascam field recorder when you're traveling?
No, I mean I have a Tascam recorder.
Like, oh, maybe I should.
Yeah, that's a smart idea, though, Nick. I don't know. Maybe we should we should do it.
It kind of feels like there were times when we used to write driving where Jeff would have some melodies, and there was a lot of voice memos going on. So it's
Yeah,
kind of
and
like
Kareem
the
would
phone
just
voice
take.
memo,
Yeah.
kind of like the modern Tascam field recorder.
It's true. It's true. Like for instance, on "Do It for the Thrill," when we wrote that song, Kareem's like, "Send me that voice memo that you recorded, or can you send the melody you were singing earlier today?" And so I just sent him a voice memo, and then he made this amazing demo of the song from the voice memo that I sent him, and I was just completely blown away. But yeah, so our phones have kind of taken that place, I guess.
Jessicka, for you, what is your method for composing lyrics?
I have to really feel something, and it has to be truth. It's like I never want to write just to write. It's got to be real. It has to be emotionally there. And then once it's emotionally there, then we can play around and tie it to some metaphor. I mean, Kareem and I write a lot of lyrics together. Sometimes I'll come with an idea, sometimes he'll come with an idea. But one of the cool things about us as a team is that our lyric writing is pretty cool. I've never, I mean, just being together and writing lyrics has been the coolest experience.
We're really into that part, and we're really into song titles.
Yeah, song concepts.
How they all connect to each other.
One of the things I like to do too is always have a list of conceptual ideas, so that way when I am feeling something real and legitimate, then I can take a look at some of the concepts I previously thought were cool, and then somehow tie that into what I'm feeling emotionally.
So what kinds of things have the both of you done to stay musically active last year, and what are your feelings on places like the Stanhope House opening back up again in recent days?
Well, in terms of staying musically active, it's been kind of, so obviously we finished our EP and released the EP, so that was a big part of what kept us busy. Then also having, like we were saying before, having a little bit more time, we've been digging in and just, I don't know, listening to different things and playing different things from a more simpler place than things we would do live. Just us together playing music, playing old songs and stuff. In terms of places being open, we kind of feel like, it's everybody needs to sort of figure out what they're comfortable with, and we're all sort of figuring it out as we go. So we're stoked and supportive of people who are making a run at it, and also, I think every venue is going to be different. Every artist and act is going to be different in terms of when they feel comfortable and under what circumstances. So we're sort of taking a wait and see, but we're supportive of people trying to open up and make things happen.
I guess for each of you, what is your favorite tri-state area urban legend or ghost story?
Oh, tri-state.
Or whatever you want to go with, because I mean, like we're in New York, New Jersey, and sometimes like Pennsylvania, just because like.
Yeah, that's true. Like Pennsylvania.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I'll go
Okay.
first to some
Right.
Right. So anyway, I was gonna say I grew up more with the Three Finger Willie campfire stories, which I think that's like not that, that's a pretty known thing. But in terms of tri-state area, I did know a filmmaker who made a movie about Cropsey, and that's like an old Staten Island legend that might have some truth to it or not. And I did not know that story when I was a kid, but I came to know a little bit more about it as people were digging and making this movie. And but yeah, and then for me personally and my friends, a lot of the urban legends were a little more growing up in the city were more about the subway. So there were like train lines that closed, like the K line, Any old school New Yorkers will know the K line. We used to call it the Kill line because they closed. They used to run on Central Park West. And so a lot of the urban legends were more just stuff about, going down the subway, the closed lines and that sort of stuff. And
That's really cool. Those are really cool urban legends. Mine is like kind of dumb, but like when I was a kid and I like started knowing who Kiss was, like when I was like real little, somebody put in my ear that like if Gene Simmons put his tongue back in his mouth, that he would like die or something. So I believed that for years. Like it was like believing like in Santa Claus, when you were little. Like I believed that Gene Simmons always had his tongue hanging out of his mouth.
I definitely did not understand this rock band. I was like,
yeah,
way darker than that.
Would you like to go back to any questions?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Yeah, I think we're good.
Final words.
Make sure to check out our new debut EP, The Power, at villains.com/thepower, or on iTunes, Spotify,
Check out the video for Like Giver.
Yes, we put a music video for our song Like Giver. And follow us everywhere on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We're at Villains Official.
Thank you. This has been an interview with Villins on Sunday, April 25th, 2021 by Nick Perkel.